Ships on the horizon, left to right along the bulge of the world, staring into sea, waving back at me, sweating like the best man, grinding daisies in my sleep, running in the dark, pushers on the street. Oranges and lemons peeled out across the wasteland, but I never stopped loving you. Corduroy trousers and blue puffer jackets, just looking for a sign with a bounce in my spine, but I never stopped loving you. Your name in lights, blinking in the windmills, spinning out at sea, dancing with the night to the music of the secret chord, like Sinatra in the musical. I dreamt of you last night. Look so pretty. I hadn't seen you for a while. We met up in some faraway city. Dippers, old maids and ex-strippers, but I never stopped loving you. Corduroy trousers and blue puffer jackets, just looking for a sign with a bounce in my spine, but I never stopped loving you. Just waiting for something to reignite the fire in you. You're just waiting for something to reignite the fire in you. I've not been listening, I've not been reading, I've not been present, I've barely been breathing. Lost myself in a patchwork of woven dreams. Heard the voices of friends who have vanished and gone. Stared out the window and watched the red kite surf the breeze. Marvel at the forces moving beneath us all. You just waited for something to reignite the fire in you. You just waited for something to reignite the fire in you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All around me, but new shoots were poking through. One briefcase tells another, you need to find your team, find your max, find your mean. A half-smoked cigarette from behind an ear says, nothing to lose, back on the booze. They think what they think, despite what you don't, or what you do. Your house today, it's up for sale. 4-bed on a quiet country road. Central dining, living space, wooden floors, a change of pace. The view's alone enough to take your breath away. Take my breath away. You laugh, your husky laugh, start to describe dilemmas of the open road. McDonald's or a $5 worth of petrol to get home. Sitting out the back, you roll another smoke. Well, I don't care what I have to do, and I don't care if I'm broke. For 100,000 quid, a piece of God's own country for yourself. The slops left over on the 7th day, the only colours left were green and grey. The slops left over on the seventh day, the only colours left were green and grey. Finger on the pulse, the river keeps on flowing. The right hand trickles down the keys, take us down into the deep. Death, it has no shame when it's time to lay you out, but it cannot take away the sounds in that old house. You always kept one finger on the pulse, the river keeps on flowing. The right hand trickles down the keys, take us down into the deep. Death, it has no shame when it's time to lay you out, but it cannot take away the sounds in that old house. You always kept one finger on the pulse, the river keeps on flowing. The right hand trickles down the keys, take us down into the deep. Death, it has no shame when it's time to lay you out, but it cannot take away the sounds from that old house. Outside the pub, smoking a fag, reading a book about Solzhenitsyn in the gulag, standing by the sweet counter buying toffee, Papped walking out of the offie. They recognized him washing his car in the driveway. While the donkeys go hee-haw. They recognise him washing his car in the driveway, same time every Sunday, keeping up with the Joneses. I did it my way. Listen to the coins go jingly jangly while they cook your goose in the Stanley. Recognise him on the red carpet, country head in a city suit, effortlessly second-rate, clumsy and uncouth. The boy went to school on an ass, rubbing shoulders with the ruling class. They recognised him as he took the stage at the awards show, the adulation giving him a warm glow. I'd like to dedicate this to my family, for never question my insanity. They recognise him when he was given his own show on the radio, playing 70s glam rock in a pair of slippers and a leopard print kimono. When the ratings began to tumble, I said, put him in the jungle. As the star began to wane, he approached the end of his period of fame, started to walk with a limp and a cane. The lord of the manor lost in the maze of the past. The tide was coming in fast. They recognised him, stood at the door, holding a bag of sweet and sour pork, prawn crackers and a can of coke. Tipped him well, said, have a good afternoon. Don't worry, he said, there's another album coming soon. They recognised him, sat by the corner drinking a beer, fell off his bike, couldn't work for a year. Even then he had a twinkle in his eye. Recognised him at the graveyard, stretched out beneath a quote from Descartes. I think, therefore I am, and if I'm not, well, I couldn't give a damn. And I'll see you all in the promised land.
Wonderful stuff. Seamus Fogarty live in session with Fire. 2 more tunes to come, and both of the songs we've heard, in fact all the songs from this session come from the new album, which is Ships. We heard the title number earlier. Do you want to settle yourself near a microphone there, Seamus, and we'll quiz you about it. Ships is the title number and for the LP. Just tell us what Ships provided the information or the inspiration and indeed the information for that song and the LP.
Well, I think Richie gave you an album today, so you can see there's actually there's a couple of ships on it. So Johnny Lynch from Lost Map, about a year ago, he gave me a call and said, "Okay, we got this album, we got these tunes. So what are you going to call it?" And I had no idea. And then I remembered that I had actually done this painting about 10 years ago. When we moved when myself and my partner Emma moved into our house in London, and I did a little painting of a few ships for no particular reason and put them in the fireplace. And I was chatting to Johnny, and I remembered I had this song I was working on, provisionally titled Ships. And then I looked in the fireplace and I saw this painting of the ships. And I said, all right, you know what, we're going to call the album Ships. And I got the album cover as well, so we're all done.
It's funny, sometimes I buy gadgets and I think, I just want that gadget, but I don't know what I need it for, and I don't know what I want it for. And 5 years later, it's like, I could really do... I've got one of those, and so...
totally, yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's a painting.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And then added to that, there's the refrain from the title number, I Never Stop Loving You, and that's from the Tracy Emin installation, isn't it?
Yeah, so I did a lot of the kind of first couple of tracks that went on to become the album. I wrote them in Margate. So I did a bit of I did a residency with Pra. Stephen Bass set me up there, and so I went into the studio there maybe about 5 years ago, and I started working on that tune, Ships. Having kind of strolled around Margate and got a bit of inspiration, and while I was in the studio, Mike Lindsay came in, and Mike was like, "Oh, I'm going to be taking over this studio next year," and I said, "Oh, amazing!" And then Mike took it over, and then he was going away for a month, and he said, "Do you want to kind of take the studio over for the month of November, October?" And I said, yeah. So I went over there again for another month. So yeah, it's funny how Margate had such a kind of big stake in the album, but yeah.
I wonder if perhaps I'm reading too much into it. They recognised him, which first appeared on an EP a couple of years ago called the Hee Haw EP.
Yes,
and is the lyric on it Nino or Hee Haw on it? Just for clarity on the donkeys,
it's Hee Haw. Yeah, it's hee-haw.
Oh, so I misheard it as Nino.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the line is, while the donkeys go hee-haw. I mean,
yeah,
it wouldn't make sense if they went Nino.
No, it wouldn't. I'm sorry.
No, but I like it. Yeah.
Just a mention of that, because that EP came out while you were doing some shows with Lisa O'Neill. Yeah. And it seems that at that point, it gave you a bit of a kickstart to get on with the rest of the record. Is that right?
Oh, totally, yeah. Lisa's like a really, really great friend of mine, and I've known her for... like since kind of 2008, 2009, and she's great, and she's doing so well, and she always she always reaches out when she can, and that was really amazing to kind of just coming out of COVID, and Lisa had this big tour set up in the UK and around Ireland, and I had a few tunes, and I'd no merch to sell, so I was like, you know what, I need to make something. So I got stuck in and put this EP together, and performed it on the tour with Lisa, and the songs went down really well, and I had a few more that I started playing on that tour as well. So it was just like a dreamy way to road test songs, and so yeah.
Yeah, it worked very well.
Excellent. And so, we know various people who are kind of roped into the anti-folk movement, so-called. And none of them particularly like the phrase anti-folk. You might know where I'm going here. So, folktronica, what are your thoughts on that as a kind of concept and a genre?
People can call it whatever they like. I don't really, it doesn't really kind of faze me. The only thing I might have an issue if a promoter or someone wanted to put it on a poster, like, come and see some folktronica, then I'm like, no, don't put that up there.
Put you on edge, really.
Yeah, but if people like to categorize stuff, and if that makes them comfortable, and they buy a record, that's fine by me.
And so I was actually there the night folktronica was invented, in a club just around the corner called the Carlton Club. And there was 4 a cappella folk singers on, and 2 old ladies came in who didn't give a damn. Right, they weren't interested whatsoever, and they started throwing 10 pences into the slot machines, and so there was all this whirring and buzzing and squeaking going on while they were doing these beautiful songs, and I firmly believe that was the night it came together.
Visionaries,
well, unbelievable. They don't get the credit they deserve. And also, do you know, whilst I was watching the TV when I was around about 10 years old, bear with me, please. My gran just came at me with a basin and a pair of scissors, right? And she was all for cutting. I had a little feather cut going at the time because it was the 70s, and she was trying to give me a pudding basin haircut. And I know that you're mentally scarred with a Gary Barlow haircut. Is that right?
Where did that come out? That's
if it's true, I'm happy. If it's not,
it is true. Yeah,
right. Go on.
But
then.
I was like, no. I mean, this is going way back. That's like when I was about 13.
He delves deep into your past. It's like being in the psychiatrist's chair, isn't it?
Incredible researchers. But yeah, I got I got a haircut, and it didn't look kind of great from the front, but I said, it's fine. And the lady who was giving me the haircut said, "Oh yeah, this is all in now. This is the style, And I was like, all right. And before I knew it, the hair was gone, and it was kind of it looked funny looking shape. But then it was only the next day when I went into school, like the people behind me were just cracking up laughing, and I was like, what's going on here? And then when I got home, I saw like from the back it was 10 times worse. It was just like kind of 45-degree angle. But
we can talk about this later in depth. And we can probably help each other out.
I thought I was over it. But,
that'd be the next album, I can tell you.
Can I have a quick word? And I'm conscious that we don't keep you too long, and we've got 2 more records to play from you, 2 more tunes from you. But you have with you, and we heard it on Fire, various boxes of tricks, including one which plays out all sorts of noises. And at the very beginning of the record, there's a really foreboding tube train sound. Are you a harvester of sounds? Do you seek them out? Do you find them all over the place?
Like that sound, that one that comes in, that's a sound from that I collected like in 2006. And so I have like certain sounds, and over the years, I might have manipulated them a little bit and then kind of put them back in a folder because they don't work. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, sometime I'm going to kind of use that sound. And I guess I used to do it more when I had kind of more time in my hands. I'd try and kind of collect some more kind of field recordings and stuff. But I guess with that first song on the album, there's a couple of field recordings from Walthamstow where I live. So I guess that's kind of the journey. At the first album I put out in 2012, there was like these nice kind of pastoral field recordings of sheep and the countryside down the south of Ireland. But now it's kind of moved to Waltham Street, High Street, the market, and and times are a bit more sinister in general, and so. But I do love sounds.
Good. And they sound great, and this record is fantastic, and there's some tour dates to come. I'm very conscious that I haven't asked you to introduce the rest of the band, so would you mind doing that before we hear the next 2 numbers?
This is Howard Jacobs on drums and clarinet, Quincy May Brown playing bass and backing vocals, and I feel very lucky to have them with me.
What's the next tune?
Next tune is called I Passed Your House.